These 8 useful English words will lift your fluency and your IELTS, TOEFL, or Cambridge score. And you won't just memorize them. You'll meet each one inside the story, feel what it means, then prove you caught it. That's how your brain keeps them for good. Everyone in the courtroom was certain that Marco was guilty. The evidence was clear, the witnesses all agreed, and the jury had made up their minds before the trial even began. Only his young lawyer, Aisha, kept staring at one small detail that did not fit. A single detail that would soon turn the entire case upside down. Marco had worked at the Hale Gallery for 11 years, so when a painting worth a fortune vanished one night and the security footage showed a man in Marco's coat letting himself in with Marco's key, the police did not look very hard for anyone else. Marco had a key, a uniform, and 11 years of trust, and to the police, that made him the easiest answer to a difficult question. Marco swore he was innocent. He would deny it to the judge, deny it to the jury, deny it with tears in his eyes, but a man caught on camera holding his own key is not an easy thing to explain away. Aisha, though, was suspicious from the very first day. Not of Marco. Of the case itself. It was all too neat, too tidy, too convenient. Real crimes are messy and full of loose ends. This one was wrapped up like a birthday gift. She studied every clue the police had so proudly presented. The coat, the key, the footage. And then she found the one clue they had completely overlooked. The timestamp. The footage was stamped 11:42 p.m., but Marco's bus ticket, printed, time-stamped, impossible to fake, placed him on the far side of the city at 11:40. He could not have been in 2 places at once. Someone had deceived the entire court. Aisha read the 2 times over and over, and the certainty in the room, the certainty that had felt like a solid wall, suddenly had a crack running right through it. Someone had dressed in Marco's coat, used a copy of Marco's key, and let the cameras see exactly what they were meant to see. Someone had carefully framed an innocent man. But who? Aisha began to interrogate the witnesses again, gently and patiently, hunting for the one thread that did not match. The night guard, the cleaner, and finally, the gallery's owner himself, the grieving, generous Mr. Hale, who had wept on the stand about his betrayed trust. When Aisha interrogated Mr. Hale, his answers came out smooth and sad and rehearsed. Too rehearsed. He described the stolen painting's value down to the last coin. He knew precisely which alarm had failed. And when she asked him where he had been at 11:42, he answered without thinking. Watching the cameras, of course. It was a tiny slip. But it was everything. The cameras that had supposedly failed to protect the painting had been watched, in real time, by the very man who claimed to be its victim. A grieving owner does not calmly watch the cameras on the night his treasure disappears. A guilty one does. In court the next morning, Aisha laid out the motive the police had never bothered to look for. The painting had been insured for far more than it was truly worth, and the gallery had been quietly losing money for years. That was Mr. Hale's motive. He needed the insurance payout, and he needed someone to blame. So he had staged the theft himself, sold the painting in secret, and framed the one employee loyal enough never to suspect him. Mr. Hale rose, red-faced, and began to deny everything. But his own recorded words were already playing for the jury. The man who had deceived an entire courtroom had been undone by 2 minutes on a bus ticket. When Marco was finally asked to testify one last time, he did not speak about himself or about the long months he had spent waiting in a cell. He simply turned to Aisha and said quietly, "You were the only one who bothered to look twice." Marco walked free that afternoon, and Mr. Hale, the respected owner, the weeping victim, the man whose suspiciously perfect story had almost sent an innocent man to prison, was led away in handcuffs to testify at a trial of his very own. Now, did you catch all 8? Let's find out. A noun for a small fact or sign that helps you solve a mystery. A detective follows them one by one toward the hidden truth. Aisha found the one the police had completely overlooked. The timestamp was the what that cracked the whole case open.
The word is clue.
The muddy footprint was the only clue the thief left behind. A verb meaning to say firmly that something is not true. It's insisting I did not do it when you are accused. Marco did this again and again before the judge and jury. He would do what to the theft with tears in his eyes?
The word is deny.
She continued to deny that she had ever seen the letter. A noun for the reason that makes a person commit a crime. Money, revenge, or fear is often the hidden one behind a crime. Aisha searched for the one the police had never looked for. Mr. Hale's failing business gave him a clear what to steal.
The word is motive.
The detective could not find a motive for the strange crime. An adjective for feeling that something is wrong or dishonest. It's the prickle you feel when a story seems just too perfect. Aisha felt this way about how neat and tidy the whole case was. The flawless evidence made the clever young lawyer deeply what?
The word is suspicious.
The neighbors grew suspicious of the strange noises next door. A verb meaning to make an innocent person appear guilty of a crime. It's planting false evidence so someone else takes the blame. Mr. Hale did this to his most loyal employee, Marco. He used a copy of the key to do what to a man who trusted him?
The word is frame.
The real thief tried to frame his own brother for the robbery. A verb meaning to trick someone into believing something false. A con artist does it with a confident smile and a clever lie. The staged footage was designed to do this to the whole court. He had done what to the judge, the jury, and the police for weeks?
The word is deceive.
He tried to deceive his teacher with a fake doctor's note. A verb meaning to question someone closely and intensely. It's what police do to a suspect for hours in a small room. Aisha did this to each witness, hunting for the detail that slipped. She began to do what to Mr. Hale about where he was that night.
The word is interrogate.
The police will interrogate the suspect for several hours. A verb meaning to give evidence formally in a court of law. A witness swears to tell the truth, then does this on the stand. Marco was asked to do this one final time before the judge. Mr. Hale would soon have to do what at a trial of his own?
The word is testify.
3 witnesses agreed to testify against the dangerous gang. Quick recap. How many do you still remember?
Clue. Deny. Motive. Suspicious. Frame. Deceive. Interrogate. Testify.
A new English story every day. Subscribe and learn useful words the way your brain actually keeps them. Inside a story you won't forget.